1031 WRNR. I'm Bob Waugh, joined via Zoom with Eric Hutchinson, who is in New York City. Even
That's true.
is still in Silver Spring and Tacoma Park. I know that.
Yeah, I've got family still there. I grew up there, and my new album takes place there. So, still rocking the 301 area code on the cell phone. And
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
Before we get to your new record, Eric, Class of '98, give me a general sense of how you're doing these last few months. You're in New York City?
I am. I did get away for a good portion of the quarantine. My family went to Delaware and stayed with some friends. So we were safe, but I've been back now in New York for about 2 months in the city. And honestly, I'm finding it strangely inspiring, and I'm feeling strangely optimistic. I think coming through so much of this year and then getting back into Manhattan, and it's definitely changed and a lot has gone on, but there's something of seeing how people are getting back on with their lives, how the restaurants are figuring things out, how everyone's adapting is has been very inspiring to me personally. To like, it's been like, okay, how can I reapproach my life and my music and all this stuff, So I don't know.
And
Talk
you,
about me,
we do. You have a very capable governor,
Hmm.
Cuomo, and Hogan has done mostly a good job in Maryland
Yeah.
handling this. Um, what part of town do you live in?
I live downtown, kind of near Union Square in
Uh-huh.
Manhattan. So, um, like I said, it's definitely different. And I don't know, talk to me in a week or two, maybe everything will be different. But
Yeah.
for now, like I said, I'm just feeling hopeful that the dust is going to settle at some point, and we'll see where we're all at.
I kind of myself concluded some time ago that the rest of this year was a wash.
Yeah.
I've just kind of given up on that. So the notion of the Halloween parade being canceled downtown in the West Village.
Yeah.
And yesterday they announced that the Thanksgiving Day parade was going to be a virtual event. So I'm okay with that because I grew up in New York, so I
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
New Yorker at heart. But
So we've kind of swapped locations.
yeah, we did. But you, having been raised in Maryland, and is it Montgomery Blair High School? Was that
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
okay?
Went to Montgomery Blair and Montgomery County. I grew up in Tacoma Park, Maryland. I grew up listening, not to date either of us too much, but I grew up listening to you a lot. So I'm excited. I've been particularly excited to talk with you because this album is it's kind of a time machine back into the 90s in
Yeah.
my high school days, and WHFS was such a huge part. In fact, I pulled this aside for you here.
Ah, yes.
This was in my sister's room when we were teenagers, and when my parents moved out of the house a couple years ago, I grabbed that sign. So
That's great.
yeah.
Because I pulled a couple of things aside for you as well
Oh yeah, really?
in show and tell. So I'm going to show you some album covers. And
All
you
right.
tell me, were they an influence or not?
Okay, great.
Buffalo Tom.
Good one. Not that album specifically, but Buffalo Tom was definitely an influence of mine, and I really loved them in real time, and
Yeah.
definitely had a T-shirt or two of theirs. And the guy who I did this album with, Paul Coldry, he worked with them. But yeah,
Bill Janovitz was the singer, I think his name.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, because I was hearing a little Buffalo Tom influences on this new record of yours, as well as maybe the Pixies.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, Now, I don't know why I pulled PJ Harvey's first album. Not that I necessarily hear that on your record, but classic HFS. Um,
Right.
Garbage, and the Replacements were lying around for some reason.
Interesting.
But I was listening to Class of '98 and kind of hearing like a little Green Day, Everclear kind of vibe going on there.
Yeah, I mean, kind of my North Star was Weezer, Blue album, and a little bit of Pinkerton, but Green Day definitely. I mean, I decided to make this album for, it's called Class 98, and it's kind of a concept album where I'm pretty much making the album that I would have made in high school if I had the know-how and the experience and everything. So it's all, it's all about high school. It's all about, I just really went back into my brain and found all these old loves and all these old characters I went to high school with. And so it was really fun to kind of try to get it as close to the 90s as possible.
You know, the song Cooler Than You has this lyric in it. Look into the crystal ball.
Hmm.
Don't you wish we could all do that when we're in high school? Because I have a 16-year-old daughter right now,
Wow.
and I'm constantly telling her, listen, don't worry about high school. It's a blip on the radar of your life. But when you're in it, in that moment, it can be devastating sometimes, if you are not one of the popular kids, or you're not cool, or whatever it is. It's just kind of funny as we age and you look back on that and you think about how much that affected you and ruled your world and how little it matters later in life.
Yeah, for sure. But I think I would love to have you play this for your daughter and see what she thinks of it, because I've been interested. I've played it for a couple of teenagers because the music's not necessarily what kids are listening to these days, but the subject matter I think is still the same. It's kind of just, who am I? What am I doing here? What is the point of all this? I mean, that was certainly how I felt in high school. I've learned
Yeah.
that people who liked high school, they tend to just like everything. It turns out, they're just people who are just kind of go with the flow, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard at that point. At that point, it's making up like a fourth of your life by the time you're out of there or something.
Right.
And it's its own little all-encompassing world. So I did an interview actually with my old high school newspaper, Montgomery Blair Silver Chips, and all the kids were not even born in 1998. So it was different, but they said the music still made sense to them.
So Class of 98 came out originally about, was it a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah, this has been a weird year. It was supposed to come out in like April, I think, and for many reasons, it got pushed a couple of times, and so it came out in July. But we just released
Okay.
a deluxe and unplugged version this last weekend.
It came out last Friday. So
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't had a chance to listen to that yet, but I definitely will. Um, what does one do, Eric, in the normal cycle of, an album? You put out a record and then go tour behind it. And now, none of that is going on. And the word on the street seems to be it's going to be, if we're lucky, like March or April next spring before things really get going again. Although I have noticed some people doing some shows, but I don't know how you feel about it. The idea of like a drive-in concert isn't really doing it for me.
Yeah, I might change my tune when I've scheduled my drive-in tour next summer. But for now, I agree. The immediacy of live music is definitely compromised right now. So I've been doing some Zoom concerts and some private Zoom concerts and doing some, live stream events and things on my social media. But yeah, it's weird. I mean, so I didn't really. It's been it's been a tiring year, but mainly I'm thankful for what I do have and what I'm able to do, and still got me here. I think I'm having an internet issue.
I was having some audio problems just a moment ago, but it's fine now.
Yeah, I just the album is what the album is. I'm happy it came out. I wish I could have toured. Maybe we'll get to tour at some point, but for now, I'm really proud of the music. I loved making it, and hopefully people just check it out.
Okay, well, we are working on a couple of things. You know, we have been virtually dormant for months, and actually on October 1st, we're going to attempt our first live stream event with the Black Pumas from Austin, Texas.
Cool.
And then after that, I think we're going to try and put together a holiday event,
Hmm.
Christmas holiday concert of some kind. So I'll extend the invitation right now if you would, if you would make yourself available, and we can talk about it more as we get closer to December. But we'd love to have you.
That would be great. That would be awesome. I would love to be a part of that. And WRNR is such a great station. I'm not just saying this, but I hope everyone knows how lucky you are to have an awesome station like this around, and yeah, be happy to be a part of it.
Okay. It's great to see you, Eric. I'm glad. It sounds like, you were in a really good headspace too, which is not the case for a lot of people after 6 months of this. Um,
Trying, but I think all we can do is try to come out of this better. That's my main thing is I'm just like, what am I going to learn from all of this? So we'll see.
Love the optimism. And you had a significant birthday, what, about a week ago?
Yes, I just turned 40.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I have to say, I feel like I'm looking into like a future mirror. I feel like we kind of look alike. Our hair is kind of the same. I feel like we look pretty
Yeah.
good, I feel like I could look like that. So there we go.
It's a little older, a little more confused is what but it's good to see you, and let's keep in touch. And thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Bob. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Bye.